So, as I said in the description on this post, as well as in my event, I love to read out loud. I'm going to need a lot of this. I love to read out loud. It's something I grew up doing with my mom, and we would take, even when I was pretty young, we'd take turns reading aloud to each other. Can everyone hear me okay? Yay, Jack. I'm so glad that you decided to pop in. Yes, we're going to be reading Good Omens tonight. We'll be doing a reading from Good Omens. We're not going to read the whole thing. I was really racking my brain on what to read for the first reading, and then I was like, hang on, this seems on theme. Everyone's talking about the apocalypse. Let's read Good Omens. So yeah, I love reading out loud. It's a lot of fun for me. I've been wanting to do something to play with it, and so what better time than right now when we could all use some form of social interaction and a bit of a morale boost than to just go live and read some of my favorite literature. So tonight we'll be doing a reading from Good Omens. I will continue to do these as time allows. Most of you know I have 2 kids at home, and one of them is 3, so I can really only do this kind of stuff when she's napping or after she goes to bed. Otherwise, I will be getting interrupted every 5 seconds. But I will do these, as often as I'm able to, as long as people continue to show interest. Sometimes it'll be poetry. Sometimes it'll be Jay Sinclair. Tell me a story, Auntie. The one about Armageddon. Damn it, you're cute. Hi, Carrie. I'm not going to keep saying hi to everybody once I start reading. So, I love you. Please know that I love you, and I'm not ignoring you. I'm just reading. Yeah, so sometimes it'll be poetry. Sometimes it'll be fairy tales or folk tales, because I absolutely love fairy tales and folklore. Yeah, so we might see some of that, potentially stories from The Women Who Run with Wolves. I will also at some point probably read, and I might read it in its entirety because it's pretty short, the book The Ordinary Princess, which is actually the book that my daughter's name came from. Simon, can you please start all over? I'm just coming in. Hi, Simon. I haven't started reading yet, so you haven't missed anything. I'm just kind of saying hi to people and talking about my love of reading aloud. So if anyone feels like has any suggestions for this, I'm open to them. Obviously, it's easier when it's a piece that I love and something that I know really well, so the words aren't too new. Probably do some classics. Yeah, so let's get started, shall we? Of course, if I'm gonna read in Neil Gaiman, I have my cup of water, but I also have my tea. All right. Okay. Ready? Let's get started. Good Omens, Neil Gaiman, Terry Pratchett. It was a nice day. All the days had been nice. There had been rather more than 7 of them so far, and rain hadn't been invented yet. But clouds massing east of Eden suggested that the first thunderstorm was on its way, and it was going to be a big one. The angel of the eastern gate put his wings over his head to shield himself from the first drops. "I'm sorry," he said politely. What was it you were saying? I said that one went down like a lead balloon, said the serpent. Oh, yes, said the angel, whose name was Aziraphale. I think it was a bit of an overreaction, to be honest, said the serpent. I mean, first offense and everything. I can't see what's so bad about knowing the difference between good and evil anyway. It must be bad, reasoned Aziraphale, in the slightest concerned tones of one who can't see it either and is worrying about it. Otherwise you wouldn't have been involved. They just said get up there and make some trouble, said the serpent, whose name was Crawley, although he was thinking of changing it now. Crawley, he decided, was not him. Yes, but you're a demon. I'm not sure if it's actually possible for you to do good, said Aziraphale. It's down to your basic, nature. Nothing personal, you understand. You've got to admit it's a bit of a pantomime, though, said Crawley. I mean, pointing out the tree and saying, don't touch, in big letters. Not very subtle, is it? I mean, why not put it on top of a high mountain or a long way off? Makes you wonder what he's really planning. Best not to speculate, really, said Aziraphale. Can't second-guess ineffability, I always say. There's right and there's wrong. If you do wrong, when you're told to do right, you deserve to be punished. Ugh. They sat in embarrassed silence, watching the raindrops bruise the first flowers. Eventually, Crawley said, Didn't you have a flaming sword? Said the angel. A guilty expression passed across his face, and then came back and camped there. You did, didn't you? Said Crawley. It flamed like anything. Well, it looked very impressive, I thought. Yes, but, lost it, have you? Oh, no, not exactly lost. More, Aziraphale looked wretched. If you must know, he said, a trifle testily. I gave it away. Crawley stared up at him. Well, I had to, said the angel, rubbing his hands distractedly. They looked so cold, poor things, and she's expecting already, and what with the vicious animals out there and the storm coming up, I thought, well, where's the harm? So I just said, look, if you come back, there's going to be an almighty row, but you might be needing this sword, so here it is. Don't bother to thank me. Just do everyone a big favor and don't let the sun go down on you here. He gave Crawley a worried grin. That was the best course, wasn't it? I'm not sure it's actually possible for you to do evil, said Crawley sarcastically. Aziraphale didn't notice the tone. Oh, I do hope so, he said. I really do hope so. It's been worrying me all afternoon. They watched the rain for a while. Funny thing is, said Crawley, I keep wondering whether the apple thing wasn't the right thing to do as well. A demon can get into real trouble doing the right thing. He nudged the angel. Funny if we both got it wrong, eh? Funny if I did the good thing and you did the bad one, eh? Not really, said Aziraphale. Crawley looked up at the rain. No, he said, sobering up. I suppose not. Slate-black curtains tumbled over Eden. Thunder growled among the hills. The animals, freshly named, cowered from the storm. Far away in the dripping woods, something bright and fiery flickered among the trees. It was going to be a dark and stormy night. Good Omens, a narrative of certain events occurring in the last 11 years of human history, in strict accordance, as shall be shown, with the nice and accurate prophecies of Agnes Nutter, compiled and edited with footnotes of an educational nature and precepts for the wise by Neil Gaiman and Terry Pratchett. Dramatis personae. Supernatural beings. God. Metatron, the voice of God. Aziraphale, an angel and part-time rare book dealer. Satan, a fallen angel, the adversary. Beelzebub, a likewise fallen angel and prince of hell. Hastur, a fallen angel and duke of hell. Ligur, likewise a fallen angel and duke of hell. Crowley, an angel who did not so much fall as saunter vaguely downwards. Apocalyptic horse persons, Death, death. War, war. Famine, famine. Pollution, pollution. Humans, thou shalt not commit adultery. Pulsifer, a witch finder. Agnes Nutter, a prophetess. Newton Pulsifer, wages clerk and witch finder private. Anathema device, practical occultist and professional descendant. Shadwell, witch finder sergeant. Madame Tracy, painted Jezebel, mornings only, Thursdays by arrangement, and medium. Sister Mary Loquacious, a satanic nun of the Chattering Order of St. Beryl. Mr. Young, a father. Mr. Tyler, a chairman of the Residents Association. A delivery man. Them. Adam, an antichrist. Pepper, a girl. Wensleydale, a boy. Brian, a boy. Full chorus of Tibetans, aliens, Americans, Atlanteans, and other rare and strange creatures of the last days. And dog, satanical hellhound, and cat warrior. Chapter 1, 11 years ago. Current theories on the creation of the universe state that if it was created at all and didn't just start, as it were, unofficially, it came into being between 10 and 20,000 million years ago. By the same token, the Earth itself is generally supposed to be about 4,500 million years old. These dates are incorrect. Medieval Jewish scholars put the date of the creation at 3,760 BC. Greek Orthodox theologians put creation as far back as 5,508 BC. These suggestions are also incorrect. Archbishop James Ussher, 1580 to 1656, published Annales Veteris et Novi Testamenti in 1654, which suggested that the heaven and the earth were created in 4004 BC. One of his aides took the calculation further and was able to announce triumphantly that the earth was created on Sunday, the 21st of October, 4004 BC, at exactly 9 a.m., because God liked to get work done early in the morning while he was feeling fresh. This, too, was incorrect by almost a quarter of an hour. The whole business with the fossilized dinosaur skeletons was a joke the paleontologists haven't seen yet. This proves two things. Firstly, that God moves in extremely mysterious, not to say circuitous ways. God does not play dice with the universe. He plays an ineffable game of his own devising, which may be compared from the perspective of any of the other players, i.e. everybody, to being involved in an obscure and complex version of poker in a pitch-dark room with blank cards for infinite stakes with a dealer who won't tell you the rules and who smiles all the time.